Welcome back to Timberborn. My name is Nilaus and I will be your guide on this, let's call it a Let's Play by now. And what we are going to do today, I have made a few preparations in order for us to get a good start of this episode. And my objective will be taking this Forsaken area and turning it into a lustrous new district with all sorts of amenities you would expect from a new district. Districts are kind of complicated, but once we untangle it, it actually makes sense, and it's actually quite okay to manage. One of the things that I was sort of worried about was sort of in context of Oxygen Not Included. If you don't get your dupes in high enough amenities, then they'll be unhappy. That's not how it works in Timberborn. If you don't have enough amenities in the second district, then they maybe run a bit slower. So not really a major deficit, just a small inconvenience and something you can just gradually get fixed later on. We have a few things that I did between sessions so that we can have a good start. I finished up this part of the industrial complex. It's not pretty, but it works. We have 2 of the big wheels. We have 2 explosive factories, 1 smelter, 1 printing press, and 2 paper mills. That's what I have right now. Maybe I'll change it later on if I want that. Then what else we do here? We did this part. We changed all the pine trees into maple trees, and as you can see, they've been running for a bit. On top of that, we've also been doing this little trick where we just make a little explosive and then put a water pond in. I'll show you that. The first thing we need to do is, of course, get over here. So let's start building a bridge over, and that's going to be a bit complicated, but nothing we can't manage. That one, and then we'll get this line here all the way up. We are going to need to get across from this one in a reasonable way, and the only way to get across here, you cannot build above, let's see, we need a triple floodgate there, there, and there, just all the way down. And we'll start by having them at 0, so that when they eventually get built, they will not do anything weird. And then we're going to get down here, and then we need to bridge this across, because you can't build any levees on top of this. So, and you can't build any platforms either. The only thing you can do is build a drawbridge. So we'll build a suspension bridge. Oh, the suspense is killing me. There we go. And then we're going to go down on the other side, and then this damn tree here is so much in the way that it's really annoying. How are we going to do with that? Do we need to harvest those trees? Maybe. We could also just do that one. Oh, that's not really working. That is definitely not working. It's too much. We'll chop down the trees instead. And let's go for here. That one. And then we have to branch it to the side. That location. Remember to get this so it's actually connected with the road. And we'll do this part here. And get a little there. So we can get this sorted. Now this one just takes a while to build, but since we don't have anything else to build, we should be good. The one thing I also want to build in this case is I want to build another water barrel over here. Just from the simple perspective that I might want it. I'll just buff this up first, so this gets done first, and then once we've done that, we'll get all of this done. Because there will be a drought eventually, and we want to make sure that we have everything chopped up and ready to go for the drought, because we're starting to get quite a few in here, and they will need to be serviced and need to keep going. So let's, oh right, one more thing that I did was I made a chestnut tree forest here. This is not being harvested, or it's being harvested but not being chopped down, and we're being gathering here. We're just gathering. I'm not even setting it up to be prioritizing any gathering. Chestnut tree, I should be probably just focusing on the chestnut tree just for good measure. And that chestnut tree goes into here for grilled chestnuts, which gets us even more happy little beavers. So let's get this one built so we can go over on the other side. Now we have our floodgates actually built, and if we flood this area, then we can fill this up with water, and then we get a little bit more green around here. And it's just nice to have a bit of water there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and then just buff it up to 1.5. And we'll see that it floods this area. We don't need to flood it by very much. We just need it to get in here. And now we get the water coming in. And you can see the green one spreading, and we're getting a bit of flooding. All of this will flood. That's perfectly fine. for what we need. And actually, I do think that 1.5 would be enough. Yeah, it's enough to flood this one. And this is just needs to be filled up. Once this is filled up, we'll just lower it again so we can let it flow out again. But this will be a very nice reservoir to have for our new district, so there will always be full during any dry season. And here we are. Now this basin is full. We'll just let it overflow just a little bit, just so we are absolutely sure that it actually is full. And there we go, full. And now we just let all the water drain out of this area. It'll just take a bit of time before it realizes that it needs to drain. That is good. We have not marked these for deconstruction, so that's definitely something we want to do. And I can then start doing the design work that I want to do for this district. Now, this is going to be the next part. We are going to go in here. And that's going to be here. This is the most important one to get rid of. There we go. And I will then, I guess we're using the levees for this as well. There. So this needs to be done. And once that is done, I really need you to go away. Yeah, that's fine. Right, down here we need to make some more room for it. That will be sort of our baseline for our district here. I will also be going down here as well, because there's a nice forest we have that we also want to take out. That will be our main forested area. This will come out as well. And what I need to build here, I need to take some of these out. Right, the first thing we want to do is just make a little campfire, because man, I can't build a campfire here. Why can't I not build a campfire? Come on. Why is it? Is it this one? Chestnut tree left over. I can probably pave over that, can I? Not yet. Not yet. It has to pick up this one. Well, that just makes it a bit more difficult, but we can build the other stuff we want. We're going to assume that that's here, and then I'm going to go. That seems about right. Then I will bring in explosive right there. This explosive will give us a water pond that we definitely need. Then we are going to have this area. If I make this into a water pond, then we'll have all of this being completely green, which is going to be awesome. And I'll just make this into a giant wheat farm, because if we use it like this, then we are really sure that it will always be wet, and wheat is super vulnerable. Oh, that's actually interesting why you're not getting that one built. It died. It died. That sucks. Now I can build that. Cool. And let's build the farms here. We need a farmhouse. I'll build it here. And I do know that some people would prefer to have this on a on top of this platform, but I don't really want that. I'll just have this nice little one, and this one will be. Oh no! Oh no! 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 Stop! Don't bring anything in here. The only thing I want in here is bread. No. Wheat, then. Wheat is the only thing I want in here. Why do I want wheat in here? I don't know. Not even sure I want it here. But anyway, that's going to be fine. Detonate. And we will then make a water pump to this location. And once that's done, it'll work fine. I will just also take this out. There's no point in taking this out just yet. Not until we have these few here also harvested. What we need to do is get the wheat in here, and that will be just a gigantic farm that we can build out there. Perfect. And build that one as well. Perfect. Don't think this is gonna work. Might as well take these two out because they're not gonna work. And as you can also see, obviously right now they're not going to be harvested at all, but that's just a start. So what we want to do is here we want to build a new district. You can't build it just yet, so we need a few things in this area that we can build. We definitely need a storage pile for this part. I'll build that here. Yeah, and I will. Since we're making wheat, we have to make all the wheat farming thing in this location as well. We are going to get a storage. We have to see how far we can reach from this location. It's actually pretty close, so you can actually, they can still build here, but we're going to cut it off at this point for future purposes. What is it we want to make? We want to make another little farmhouse here. We want to make some housing. We might as well. We want to build the good housing here, or the big one. I'll make that one, two of those should be fine. And you know what? We can actually get these on top. That'll be very nice. And we're just starting to make like little convenience things here. There. That's nice. And they, of course, need to be here. What is also super important in this location is... Look how deep they can go. That's actually much deeper than the other faction can go. So that's pretty nice. We definitely need some kind of farming here. So let's get that sorted immediately. That one has to be like high priority. There. And maybe also do something about the priority for these parts. Because if we get down here, we can get access to more trees and they'll just be a lot nicer. All right, this is looking good. And as soon as this comes in, then we'll see all this area become green. This one's perfect. I can now take that out. Good, and I can feed some more wheat in this one. I mean, obviously we are having way too big of a wheat farm for whatever we can do, but hey, let's make it. Oh, there we go. As soon as we get water in, a big splash comes in. Very nice. So now comes the next part. What is it we want to make? Well, if we have our wheat has to come into a grist mill, so we need to research that. I'll build one there, and I'll build... Oh, I don't think I will, though, because we need to take that out as well. So let's get some more tree chopping here. That is a lot of tree chopping, but is it even inside our district? Yes, it is. Let's start chopping trees. Let's start by this area over here, because that's the one we need the most. All right, so we can starting to get something done here. Once that is going, look at that. They're putting a lot of new stuff in here. Ultimately, I'd like to make another district out of this, but right now we're not really doing districting for this part. What I want here is definitely none. Oh man, that's so annoying that it defaults to something. I will also just put a little hat on it. There we go. All right, so let's get this one, this built. Is there anything else? Oh yes, there's definitely something else. We also need some big water pond. We are actually very close to the first droughts, so let's be just a bit mindful of that as it comes in at the start of the day. This isn't really working yet, but I could just, if I do that, then it is connected now. Yeah, it's red, but it's still connected, and that's nice. And this one is basically infinite for our purposes. We could just keep some water in here to keep this fresh and alive. I don't know if that's really necessary. We'll just keep a bit of water in, which will last just a bit of time. In this, we only have one district, so it's 1400. I mean, we have plenty of feed here, or plenty of water in this location. No worries. In the meantime, we're just accumulating all sorts of production materials. That is nice. And let's see if there's anything else we want to build down here. No, I don't think so. We do need to get rid of a lot of this part here. And so it's time to check in. Things are working quite well here. We have water, abundant amount of water here. We have built our units, our parts here. And what it is I'm building here, I've just deprioritized it because nothing is there. I will be making bread. Yes, bread comes from 1 wheat flour and it gives us 5. So every 42 seconds, this one will be making wheat flour. That comes about every 1.8 hours. So we'll have 2 of those. And you're going to be unpaused, you're going to be unpaused. And they unfortunately also need some power. So we're going to be getting some wheels in here to keep these spinning. That is pretty good. I don't want to store the wheat flour for anything. I think I just wanted to go in here to get produced, and then in this storage down here we'll be having bread exclusively. This is almost cleared out this space, so now it is time for us to make it into a real district. It's a real district. And what does that mean? Well, that means I am going to find a place, and this is the complicated part, where I cut it off, delete this building. Now everything else here will say it's not connected, and then I make a district gate. That means now it knows that this is in a different district from that one. That means this has to be connected to a district. That's district building. Now they're happy. We don't have anyone in here because, well, they're all in the other one. You can see up here, no one there. That means the first thing we want to do is basically the migrate. And there is a really cool idea with the whole automatic migration. So I can then go in and say, you know what, I want 18 in here, right? 18. And then we need to scale up our breeding. So let's also go in here and scale up our breeding. Maybe scaling up breeding during a drought is not the best idea, but you know, we'll do it. And how is this one? This is almost running out. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, it's very much almost running out. So I'll just send it down a bit. Water's coming out. Tipping it in. It's all good. They'll just spin a bit. We'll need to do something more with this part so we can keep it running also during the drought. Batteries and such. This part though, you know what? Let's actually do this now and go in and just get one of these. That one. You might as well get that built. Then we'll have this operating during the drought as well. Now we have a location here. I'm gonna definitely get 4 of these. And where do we have it? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 in that one. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Should be good. And then plus 4. That's 16. I think we should be fine in this district. Don't know why we don't have them here. We do have 18 in here. And we have 14 available sleeping spots. And we have 1 unemployed. If we do this unemployed, what if I missed water pump? Oh, the water wheels. These wheels here. Yeah, they also need some. So that means we probably would like to have just a little bit more. Just go to 20. But they are gonna be very dead now if I don't do something urgently. So we need to get sorted on. Where is it? Here. This is a distribution point. Yes, I'm gonna having this is distributing from this location to the other district. And look at this place. Smack, perfect. And this will be where it's exporting from. I will be making that one here because I think we want that one here. This will be there. So now that's basically a sending and a receiving location for each of the districts. And then we need to make sure that they get built. Obviously, these ones need to get built. I'll prioritize them so they get built faster because they're kind of important. They are very hungry and we'll probably lose them. And maybe I will just go. Yeah, not having food here before is a bad idea. So if I just delete that, this building doesn't cost anything. That's kind of weird, but we'll just reestablish them like that. And they'll be running back now. Now they are connected again because I need to be able to set up my roads here. Now they are really hungry. So go back, all of you, go back. We'll set it up again once this is built. The distribution post is the most important thing. So we can see it getting done here. Great. And is this also getting done? This is actually the most important one, to be honest. And all of this, we have water. We are good. We still have 4 days left of this drought. And this is actually a pretty severe drought, this one. I think it was like 8 or 9 days. So it's about as bad as it gets. And we're still not worried at all because we still have this one just churning out here. Is this working? You are not getting any wheat, of course, because this has not been completed yet. But it will be completed soon. That's not actually as important. This is super important, by the way. This needs the planks. So let's get this one done. So now this is made, and then we can start making it. And what we want to do is make a new route into this location. And what do we want to transport in? We want to transport carrots. Yes. I know it's in the same district. Some routes are not functioning. Don't care. We'll build the routes still. And let's see. That will be the sunflowers. Sunflower seeds. We'll get all of the food in here, and then we'll get... that's the grilled potatoes. Want 100 of each. And then we'll get... what else are we getting here? We're getting the AQUADUCT as well. We're also getting grilled chestnuts. We're going to get all the food in here. And we're getting grilled AQUADUCT. There we go. So that's the 5 different types of food we have. Then we need to get some of the other stuff. And that is... we need planks. Planks for sure. We need gears as well. And we need metal blocks. Basically the stuff we need for construction. Anything else we need? don't think we need it. We are not going to get any logs, so that is the part. So now I can re-establish the spots. Now I'll re-establish. There we go. And that will be a gate at this location. There we go. And then I'll build there. And that will be much nicer. There we go. We don't have anyone in here. And then that is why we bring in... Let's bring in 20. It's kind of a lot for this little one. This little location. But that sets up automatic in here. Let's see. We have 20 inbound. Everyone's happy. We still have 3 unemployed in this area. That's pretty crazy that we have unemployed given all of this. But that's because this is exporting that. The only thing that I want to export from this location back to the other location is... I'll go up to this one. Now it's green because it's in a different one, and that's going to be the bread. Now, here comes the next one. Distribution limit. This basically says how much do you maximum want to import, and what is the minimum you want to retain in the district before you start exporting. That's pretty good. We don't want to export berries, by the way. So I would say don't ever export carrots unless you have enough for yourself. And don't... Oh, damn, we need explosives as well. Hold on. That's like super important. That's like maybe even the most important thing. Maybe even the most important thing. How can you even build anything without having explosives? I don't know. I just want to basically see how much do you retain before exporting. At least retain that. At least retain 50. And grilled chestnuts. Food, always retain 100 of them. Which means the other district probably won't get as much of these as we would like. Planks, 50. And scrap metal is not. Spatter ducks, sunflower seeds, 100. And water is not being exported. Wheat flour. There we go. So that is that way. And then I'll do this part here as well. This will say how much do you want to export. So for example, you retain 50 bread in this one. Let's actually retain 100 bread. There. Works perfectly, I hope. These are no longer dying of hunger. And what we need to know is this one to go in here. So these are just spinning for no apparent reason. Now, we need to make this into fertile ground. And that is a bit of a challenge. So what I want to do is, if we look at this location here, now it's in a drought, obviously. If I keep... how would I want to do this? How do I want to illustrate it? I think I'll illustrate it like this. What if I did something like that? And then basically let a drain from here, high ground, go in here, and then go all the way over, and then go down here, and then lead it back into the water. That would be a very nice little project that we could do. And by little project, I mean pretty damn big. And this will be like that. And these two also. And then on the other side as well. There. And we'll get to this location as fast as possible and get that out here. And then out here, I definitely want a deforester because we want to make sure that we can clear out this area. Is it still in the distance? Not yet, because it's disconnected. But we can just start mining away that part. And this will now get built eventually. And then we'll also get, and this is why the explosives are so important. Go this way, go this, oops. That part, and I think that this is probably the best location to get it. There. So that's kind of a lot. Kind of a lot. And what we also need to do is make sure that we have roads on this part, because they won't work without roads. There. Yeah. And we'll have some issues out on this side here as well. We'll need to cut through all of these blueberries that are completely irrelevant at this point. Droughts is looking bad, we'll just download this one, downgrade, so we can get this flowing again. Still 2 days left. I'm kind of feeling that we should lead more water in. There. A good splash of water, but still water supplies are in here. We have 260. In this one we have 700, which is enough because we don't really have a lot of these going here. And what I'll also do is I'll make more of these feeding or breeding pods. Great. This is still working. The entire industrial area is working because we now have this engine, even though it's burning a lot of wood. Okay, so let's get this one built. This is going to take just a bit of time. A hot minute is what it's going to take, pretty much. And we'll also get that one on the other side. So here we are at the end of the drought. We can see the drought ended. And where are we at? We have a tiny bit of water left. That's okay. And we can now start building up our reserves again here. We were still at, in this one, 600. So not really any kind of problems with regards to that. We can always just flood this area again if we feel like it, because then it's going to be a new location here. What we're doing down here is, as you can see, we are just slowly making our way this way, slowly making the other ones. And over here we have all of this explosives. I'm now also making down here so we can get all the way further out with the levees, and they will need to be here and then go all the way out to that location. It's going to be a bit tricky to get all of this done, but I'm sure we'll get it soon enough. But this will be one of those where it's just a good idea to just wish on forward. And the project is coming along, and now there's another drought coming. So before the drought comes in, I think it's time for us to actually fire this up and just give it a good explosion. I'm not going to explode my little beavers, so explode. Nice. And that gets the water in. Of course it'll fill this basin, but at least it won't sort of flood into the base. And we can then get the other explosive as well. Let's detonate from here. Nice. And then the water will eventually flow this way, and yes, it'll flood this plane, but that doesn't really matter. I don't need it for anything right now. So what I want to do is I want to see that the green is spreading over here, and it's just a nice thing to get done before the break is actually, or the, yeah, before, oh no, they can't go past this. Oh, they're completely stranded. Ha, that's funny. Let's make sure that we save them from themselves. That means I need to build a platform. Let's build it right there. And I also need to make that, you know what, that's going to be a really high priority platform. And I'll build this across. And I will then also build just a little one. Okay, we'll just have that one as well. We'll also block that as being faster. Interesting how, oh right, this is way too big. That was why it was so weird. There, I just need a one tile high, that one. And now it connects. Great, and this will be top priority. So we get that in here. It's nighttime, obviously, so we'll wait until it gets morning, which will be very soon, and then we'll get these rescued, hopefully, very, very quickly. I don't need to pump here. We've also just changed all of this to Maple, because, of course, we changed it to Maple, make this a bit higher. And you know what? Here's a good point. We probably want to make sure that we get our water reservoir filled up before the next drought comes in. And let's see if they can get this one done in due time. And so the drought hit us. Unfortunately, we were not quite prepared for it, because what I wanted to do was, of course, block it off here so I could have like a little canal of water here. And obviously, if I had to build all of this as well, then I would also be able to block it off here as much as possible. Let's actually set that to 1.5 there. But unfortunately, so this is no longer green. It's not a big problem. I want this actually to become an industrial area, since we are going to be doing a lot of industrial stuff here. And this path here will eventually become a too deep path, and it'll also be too wide as well. Now, the fact of the matter is that we could actually use the opportunity to make it a bit wider. This is a long drought, but ultimately the thing is working here. We have our canal is going down there. It's going all the way there. And yeah, it's 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 got a new we got a new little district here. We got the wheat farming. That's way too much wheat, but still very nice. And we got a little here. They are pretty happy. How good are they in this area? They're actually pretty happy. Just scroll away from the red stuff here. But if they are at 23 in this area, that's actually pretty good. That means that they got most of the food here. That's the spatter duck. We don't give enough of that. That's kind of understandable. So I'm really happy with the design here of this part, and basically we are going to use this for generating more power. We will be taking some of this river instead of flowing it down here. Then we'll be pushing it this way and then making some water wheels. But that's later on when we need to sort of get all of those operational. We'll also have some iron over here, or some metal over here that we can use. We also have the opportunity that, or basically the challenge. Here we have some industry. Here we have some industry, and here we have some industry. That would be nice that they could sort of link together, but that is definitely something for the future for us to do. So I hope that you are enjoying this series as we just enjoy a bit of nighttime here. If you are, of course, enjoying it, be sure to hit the like button, and I would really like to hear good ideas in the comment section, things I may be missing, because, well, as you know, this is my kind of my first playthrough, so I'm learning as we go along and just sort of applying normal principles we would use here. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.